Again, public health was important, but another important thing during the legislative session was concerns about the environment. So for our next community segment, I visited with Representative Mizuno in a part of his district at the very back of his valley, Hooula Aina, where the community engages in forestry, agroforestry, land-based healing and education, food and native medicine, and Hawaiian culture and arts. Interestingly, KKV is the only federally qualified health center among 1,400 nationwide to care for a 100-acre nature preserve. Let's go check it out.
Kanoa, Scott, thank you for being here. I'm wondering if you can give us a little bit of the history of the park and how it's helped the community. Please, by all means, if you can share with us, and we just want to hear the story about 100 Acre Park.
Yeah, so the story of this place probably, starts way back. This place, since ancient times, was growing food and medicines for the people of this valley and people who lived near the ocean. There was that kind of barter system that was happening. So we always share the names of these places because that's really important for kind of understanding this place a little bit more. And Owawa is the name of the ili we're in right now, which is, an ili is a smaller land division within an ahupua'a. So we're in Kalihi. Owawa is the name of the place we're right now, and Malu Avai is just makai of us. Those are the two ili we take care of. And probably the more recent history of this place started in around the 1970s. There was a developer who had actually pegged to develop about 140 house lots back here. And it was really the Kalihi community that kind of took over going to the legislation and just trying to fight for open space. That started in the 70s, and it kind of became city and county land for a few years. And it was DLMNR state land. It started in 1997, but really there wasn't any kind of backing to support the programming here. So KKV in 2005 came, and it started with people just trying to cut back the invasive forest and really planting foods. The story that I've always heard in the beginnings was that actually in Chuukese, the language Chuukese, there's no real word for exercise. And so they're like, oh, what do you guys do to like work out, stay fit? They're like, oh, we farm, we fish. And so that's kind of what this place was initially, like opening up space for that. And it was the Micronesian aunties who you thought maybe weren't so strong down at the clinic. When they come out here, they could work for a couple hours, work you under the table. And they were the ones who were like planting the early plants over here. And that's kind of, we've grown since that 2005. So yeah, those are some of that's how this place kind of came to be. And now we're here in 2021 and slowly expanding, just how we're growing.
Thank you. I noticed you've also got programs for our youth. Did you want to share with some of the programs you guys have, Scotty?
Yeah, we like to host a lot of the kids in the community. We like to share the knowledge of our ancestors in trying to heal both the land, the forest, and the community at the same time. And so we really believe that the health of the land and the health of the people are one. People forget we can't breathe in oxygen unless a plant has exhaled. And so I think just being up here with all this fresh air and oxygen and plants help people feel good. And so they don't get to harvest theirs, but they get to harvest what was planted last year. And then what they're growing will be what next year can harvest. And they'll start the crop for the following years. And that kind of takes them away from what I'm growing is mine, but what I'm growing is for the community. And it helps perpetuate that from an early age. And I really love that.
Very holistic approach.
Yeah.
Could you explain to some of us, what are some of the medicinal purposes of some of the herbs and vegetables that you're growing?
So we have a lot. Turmeric, or olena as it's called in Hawaii, is one that helps with a lot of inflammation and bringing down that swelling. And we also have other plants like mamaki, which is a tea to cleanse the blood. There's also noni from other parts of the world. But we also have plants that help with mothers who are about to give birth and to help them after they give birth. And there's medicine all around us. If you get bit by a mosquito, we can pick the hono grass and use that like aloe, and it'll get rid of the itching. Or we have literally grass that's growing that will start clotting open wounds. And there's even, I like to give the eating tour, where this flower tastes like mushroom, but it actually helps you when you're feeling depressed and brings you up. And so I like the fact that we open up the eyes as to what is really healthy and what is really around us. And there's a lot. As a nature preserve, there's a lot of, how do I say it, rules that pertain to keeping native plants growing. And so we do allow the community to come. We kind of don't let them just walk around, but we do have opportunities throughout the week, community Wednesdays, Growing Farmer Thursdays, third Saturdays, where they can come, get educated, so that they can go out and enjoy the forest without destroying it, and actually help to perpetuate its growth.
KKV, along with you, partnering with this wonderful park, is actually getting between, if you look at dollars, $3,000 and $6,000 worth of food and supplies distributed to many of our community members. How do you help, and what type of foods do you put in the care package for community members?
Our whole objective is to make people feel less scared and feel comforted during this time. And so we do a lot of comfort foods, canned vegetables, and we make the packs according to size of the family. And there's also fresh produce that goes with it that matches the size of the family. And we also do frozen proteins. And a little thing that has popped up was the community really wanting fresh water. And we were kind of torn between buying cases and cases of plastic bottles of water and how much we would need per family for a day or for 2 weeks. And so we actually started giving out Brita filters, and everything from baby needs, diapers, to elderly needs. We try to provide what we can. It was unique because when the pandemic hit, the farmers also need to survive. And so through Roots, they were able to procure food from the farmer to help give out to the community. And at the same time, the food that was grown here was also being used to supplement part of that. Mostly it was going to nutrition, which has our most diverse dietary needs. And so it's
diabetic patients.
Yeah.
That's one of the silver linings of this pandemic,
Yeah.
right? We actually kind of reconnected to our roots
Yeah.
because of this.
So places like Hooula Aina are top of mind here at the legislature, where natural resources and protecting our natural resources was a top priority this year.